Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
Hey, how's it going? All up there.
Welcome to the 235th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with my co-host, Peter B. And today's topic is, how was your second year of sobriety different from your first? Yeah, I just want to say welcome back, Peter. And,
Thanks, sir.
maybe just give a little bit overview of how things changed for you in that year, because we're going to have a pile of questions on this. But yeah.
For the second year, well, you know what? The first year was deer in the headlights sort of thing, as far as just living this way, right? Um, Very driven to be sober. To once I got sober, I didn't want to leave that. So my first year was just learning how to live without piling on the booze and drugs to deal with just daily things, whether they were good or bad. I mean, there's the constant reason to medicate myself, whether it was a good day, a bad day, a long day, a short day, it didn't really matter, right? It's just it was a way of living without it was just the first year. Um, as far as the methodology or trying to figure out how, the all the formulas and little nuances that we have to get through certain things, it was just not picking up a drink. It was step one and not picking up a drink. I mean, that was really the main part of it for me, and it still kind of is. I mean, that hasn't changed, and I don't know if that will ever change. It's such a root in my sobriety that I I don't see it going anywhere. I don't see it becoming. I mean, it's just so strong in my life. I mean, of course, I don't know what the future is going to bring, but I can't see it getting any weaker. And that powerlessness or that thought of unmanageability. So that hasn't really changed. I guess, the biggest thing is the coming through with my own philosophies and my outlooks on my like my step threes to six sort of thing, 3 to 6 sort of steps. Um, those are something that are always changing for me, and they'll always probably evolve through my sobriety. But my second year, it's relationships, it's being grateful every day. As I get farther and farther away from my last drink, I find that I need to be a little bit more conscious of my um, just not getting too complacent. Because the farther I get away from it, I am getting I feel that because that phenomenon of craving is gone, and that feels incredibly good, and I sit in that a lot. And when I'm in that kind of mind frame where I'm just like, man, I just don't have, I'll have a really bad off day or something in a relationship that I have, and it just doesn't come into my head to have a drink. And it's mind numbing. It's shocking that I think that way. And a little bit of pride creeps in, or a little bit of like, I think I'm gonna be all right sort of thing creeps in. But I know from being in the rooms and the people that I talk to in the fellowship that you hear of people going out 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, right? Like that's something that I need to remember. So that's part of my second year is really based on just on remembering stuff like that. So um relationships is a big one, especially with people that are really close to me. And my old ways of thinking as opposed to my new ways of thinking, I'm creating a new relationship with who I am as well. So I mean, the main thing is I just got to keep my head down and my legs pumping as far as the recovery goes. There's nowhere in the book, in the big book, I think that it says, okay, now you can rest, take it easy, don't worry about it, don't have to work the
No.
program now, you don't have to go to meetings now, you're good, you're done. It doesn't say that anywhere. So
You know what
Yeah,
though is it doesn't actually say we have to go to meetings anywhere in the big book.
true. But we got to do the
So
work, though. That's part of the work, I
we do
guess.
got to
But you're
do the
right.
work. We
Yeah.
do got to do the work. Um, for me, I really loved what you said there, Peter, because I think one of the things, one of the things I've heard, and I don't know if I've seen it to be true in the group of people I know, is that they say that a lot of people will get 1 year, but substantially less get two. I remember them saying that at
Oh, really?
options when I was there. And, for me, I was like, fuck, if I make it to one, man, I'm definitely making it to two. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just, um, you know, what has
I think I do
changed?
remember something like that being said about the
Yeah,
first year. There's a lot
that's
of first year.
why they give the
Yeah.
18-month in NA.
Oh,
Because they
okay.
want it to be another milestone. And apparently, like it was some point in your brain that people were falling off. But
I see.
I remember like a lot of my first year was me running in fear from dying, and so, my recovery was, it was death avoidance. Let's be honest. When they're like
Yeah,
jails, institutions, and death,
right.
like I died and I don't want to die again from being awake on drugs. Like whatever kind of natural death happens for me, I'm certainly hoping it's not happening again from substance. Uh, but a lot in my second year really changed. It was just after my first year, a really good friend from options relapsed. And every time a close friend relapses, I really take a look at my program. And so I was like, at 12 and a half months, I remember thinking, okay, where's the holes in my program? And the first thing that I saw was I'm like, I'm not praying and meditating enough. Like, I wasn't feeling bad. I wasn't feeling weak in my program. Like fortunately for me, that feeling of wanting substance was surrendered, and I'm lucky or not lucky, whatever. I'm
Right.
grateful. I'm grateful. But the thing was is that it took me a long time from my Catholic God phobia to even embrace any kind of idea of a higher power, and let alone to be praying and to be meditating on a regular basis. And so I started to pick that up. Like I started going to when I was going to Kelowna for my Monday meeting. Right before that meeting that options took you to too, was a
Right.
Dharma recovery. And so I thought, well, like, I'll go learn how to meditate better, and that was a good experience. And it kind of just opened me up. And then, last March, we had a guest on this podcast. One of the things, the differences, I guess, right off the bat is I didn't do this podcast in the first year of recovery. And
Right.
this podcast for me has been a great way for me to learn a lot from a lot of people.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
talking hours
And
per week,
constantly, yeah, constantly talking about
like,
it. Yeah.
and talking about all kinds of subjects with almost everybody having more experience than me, and so that has been great. And then in March, it was almost like I was like fine with surrendering my addiction, but I was trying to take my will back with my defects and shortcomings. And then we had a guest, Thomas Smith, on here. Shout out to Tommy. He said, this isn't a program of self improvement. This is a program of surrender. And in just like that one sentence, just kind of like, whoa, like I've veered. And
Yeah, right.
so it was a big journey of course correction. And on that journey, we call it the Great Resurrendering of March 2025. um,
Nice.
it also pointed me in the direction of love, and now
Right.
really my program is based for me on, loving completely, as total of a surrender as I can have, and forgiveness, you know, and those three things. And so I would say that I went from a recovery of fear based in my first year to a love-based recovery in my second year.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like one of the things that came from praying and meditating more is a faith. And one of those faiths, it is literally that I have faith in my program. Like, I believe that if I do tomorrow what I'm doing today, what I
Yeah,
did
100%.
yesterday, like I'm sorry, but the one day at a time thing for me is it's not a fear inside my moral compass. Like I don't feel like I'm at risk if I continue doing the level that I'm doing.
100%.
you
Yeah.
know and uh and I refuse to be fear based on that, and I also have some issues about conscious contact and one day at a time,
Hmm.
because when they say one day at a time, you're still not living presently if you're thinking about the whole day today.
Sure, yeah. You could dial it right back for sure to like a
Like
minute
it's
minute at a
literally
time.
moment to moment you
Yeah,
know
yeah, for
and
sure.
and 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 I'm not saying that nothing can shake me from my emotional sobriety. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that I refuse to live a life that's completely fear based,
Hmm.
you know and the reality is that my motivation right now to do more of what I'm doing inside my program is based on how much I love what my life is like right now. Not that
Right.
I'm fearing that substance. It's that I never had the opportunity to grow up, to mature, to be considerate, to consider like these principles and the value that they have in the life that they bring.
Hmm. Yeah, it's simplicity, patience, and compassion, man. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
what our big three are for me with love as love is concerned. I mean, there's a lot of compassion
Mm.
involved, and you got to be patient and all those sort of things for sure, 100%. Yeah, I share
So,
I share a lot in meetings about that one day at a time is why I'm here. I
yeah,
mean, it's I make it this as simple as possible, man. Um,
yeah.
for me, like when I look at the way I used to live, it was just turmoil, constant like confusion and frustrations and spinning out of control, and that's chaotic. It's just no way to be. I mean, I went to bed sober last night, and I'll share that every meeting that I go to with anyone who will listen. That's
Yeah.
that's my jumping off point every morning is like I went to bed sober last night, and this is why I think I went to bed sober last night, and it goes into my gratitude list and all that sort of thing, right? I just
Mm,
keep it as simple and compassionate as I can. I used to be incredibly impatient, and sometimes I still am. But when my program is really when I'm really working my program in my day to day, there's a lot of those moments that you're talking about instead of just day by day. There's like moments in my day that I'm just blocking throughout the day. I stop myself a lot, and I stop and I think for a split in my head. It seems like a while, but it's really just a split second of me going, how do I want to react to this? Like, why am I thinking
mm,
this way initially? Why did I think this way and had to stop myself? Why am I doing that? And it's this constant revisitation of like a step 10. It's like a mini step 10 every
mm,
hour of the day or however you want to look at it. And without step 1 and 10 in my life for sure, like I don't know if those other steps in the middle would even work for me or would even work.
mm,
Like it's all these steps are a suggestion, as we know, right? It's a suggestion,
mm,
and how everyone tends to work it is completely it's their game. I mean, it's their faith's game, whatever they want to believe in. It's their game. It's their I think self-will, there is such a thing as self-will, and I don't shun it. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's when it's self-will run riot. I think that's the key point in that. It's when it's ruling the roost it becomes an issue. I think
mm,
there's a lot to do with who we are as people. I think who we are as driven entities and creations on this planet, and we do have a lot of power, especially in numbers, something like the fellowship. Like when there's a power in numbers and you have a lot of people around you that have a lot to offer in the way that they look at their life and their faith base or their higher power, if you will, I get a lot from that. That's very powerful to me, and that changes a lot of the ways of my old ways that I'm trying to change. I'll hear or discuss something with someone, and I'll see something in a different light, or more so what I always believed that was similar, and just kind of different angles. I mean, I our body shed cells. What is it? Every 7 years, our body's a completely different cell. Like I can't sit here and say my way of thinking is going to stay the same till I die. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I think the core of who I am is a good person. It's just I'm adding and taking away things constantly and regrowing it constantly. And it's super cool, man. Like I hear things from people that I'll hear certain things from people. And I'm like, well, I don't think that at all. And then I'll stop myself and go, yeah, but just think about what they said for a second. And I break things down, or I'll read something and go, no, that's bullshit. I don't think that at all. But it's my initial response is still dug in my brain a little bit, right? Like even after 2 years, which is really still a quite shorter period of time, is I think compared to some of the sobriety that's out there, or when people change their life, they do for decades. But I mean that it's still there's still that little bit in my brain that I've got to watch and go, see, now you're kind of it's easy to slip back into that. It's the complacency thing that I try to watch out for, especially going forward into my third year now, I guess. But
So, like, sure, we got 2 years, but man, I was drinking and doing drugs for 37 and a half. I don't know
yeah,
your story.
exactly.
I don't know
100%.
your story, but like, right now, it's like I'm still learning what the right thing is.
Yeah.
Like as far as it goes, if I started at the age of 13 and change, you know, I'm 15 now emotionally.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's a lot of growing pains, and there's going to be a lot of automatic response
Yeah.
that is the unhealthy automatic response.
Yeah.
And that's part of the patience. So okay, so what do you think your single biggest difference between year 1 and 2 is that you have noticed?
Oh man, the single biggest difference. I don't know if this is good or bad, but because first thing that came into my mind is the ease of working my program. Just the
Yeah.
the routine and the ease that I do it now.
Mm.
Before I used to have to make myself do something because I was constantly like the brain's a muscle, it's regrowing. I've totally blew the thing out of the water. My brain is was Swiss cheese. I felt like my body was falling apart. So there's the physical part of it, but I think just the how beautiful my life is and how great and wonderful I feel and how clear-headed I feel, the ease of which I am patient and feel calm listening to people and going to meetings and just kind of working my program. But it feels odd saying that because it's not an easy, this isn't an easy thing. It's very simple. Like we've all heard that saying as well. It's a simple program. It's not easy. But I feel this, I guess it's the serenity. It's a calm thing that I just feel. It just feels I can't even put a better word to it, man. It just feels great. It just feels I just feel calm, and I feel my program being a little bit eased. Like I'm just where I need to be. I'm where I want to be. I'm not fighting anything really. I don't debate people on things that are based in opinion. Um, I don't always. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't necessarily have to bend over backwards to agree with them. I mean, there's people out there that have, especially in the world today, man, there's people out there with some really whack opinions on things, man. Like they'll say something, I'm like, what? I don't necessarily have to agree with
Hey,
everybody.
what?
Yeah, 100%. You're like, are you serious? And you're a friend of mine? Wow, I didn't know you thought like that. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But I don't feel that need to change someone's opinion because I don't necessarily agree with them, but I do have a real want to listen and be listening is a big thing and be patient. And that compassion, that compassion and patience, man, is and gratitude, like those things are just so easy for me to do now. I just feel really sane with it. I'm not battling these
Mhm.
winless battles. I think that's probably the biggest thing that's changed in my second year. The one thing that I could put my finger on is just that phenomenon of craving, man, not being here is just, I don't know if I'll ever get over that honeymoon phase of that. I don't. It
How
blows my
much
mind.
of your mind is free now? Like for
Oh,
me,
it's
I swear to God,
incredible.
it's like 70% more of my mind is
Yeah,
just available to experience life.
right. 100%. Yeah, I agree. It's just there. It's wide open, man. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if, the biggest difference between my first and second year really has been my overall. I got to lump a bunch of things together here, but it's all because they all share that same experience. It's like contentment, joy, serenity, love, and how that is getting integrated for me with health.
Mm.
Like if anything, I think the 12-step programs miss the mark on, it's talking about like what you eat and how you
Yeah.
exercise. Because like when my vessel isn't healthy, when my vessel's not healthy, man, I don't think happy, healthy things, man.
Right.
And this year, going to that conference and learning about two-way prayer, I just feel like my life has just rocketed in a direction that that I'm stoked. I'm stoked even on days I'm not feeling good. I'm stoked,
Right. Right.
and like it's just like it's hot pants pink cloud.
Yeah, you've
It's
talked
not
about
just
that a lot,
pink.
man. It's a big change in your life for sure. After
Yeah.
you went to the convention there last year.
Yeah, that was I mean, like, okay, think about this, Peter. When I first went to options, that was the first group of straight, happy people I had ever been in my life.
Right.
And then to go somewhere where there's like 40,000 people
Yeah,
like
right.
that,
Yeah.
it was like what I would say about that conference was first of all that it wasn't cheap for somebody to come up from the States or like downtown Vancouver in the summer hotels are expensive. Like
Oh, yeah.
so like the people coming were seekers, they were the people who seek out that recovery experience, and so everywhere I sat, in every meeting I sat, I was meeting the most interesting people beside me. Like the the best meetings were just the podium meetings, and some of these got like just the people getting up and sharing on topics. That was like the most impactful part for me of the whole conference, and just
Right, right.
being in such a large group of recovery. Like, I don't know,
Well, the
it
amount
was
of information, like just the amount of people with the listening part of it, like I was saying earlier, the listening part of it
yeah.
is like insurmountable. It's just people you're surrounded by insight, man. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
but like Vancouver became the friendliest city in the world that weekend. Like
right.
I've been to Vancouver, dude,
Yeah.
and I walk down the road and I say hi to people. And my daughter's like, "Dad, people don't say hi here," and
Yeah,
they don't.
100%.
Like
I'm from there, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
they don't even really want to look at me in the eyes. But this
Yeah.
weekend, it was like, woohoo,
Yeah.
yeah! Like everybody was saying hello. It was like I'm with my people.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it can be a really cold city. It used to be a lot better, but I mean, in the past, especially the past 10, 15 years, it's just gotten even more than that. It's
I
just
think the downtown just
cold.
got kind of scary for
Yeah.
people. And so
It's sad.
there,
It's a
yeah,
lot of it's sad, man.
it,
Yeah.
it's scary and sad. And it's just like, there's kind of like the real us and them on
Yeah.
the road addicts. And like, I just see it. And I have no solution for it. I just have sympathy for the people that are really that far down and trapped in addiction.
Right, right.
Because I know some people who have climbed out of it. And so I do know it's possible, but I don't know if it's possible for everyone.
No, well, I don't think recovery is possible for everyone in general, period. Whether
Yeah.
no matter what level you're at, I think it's definitely I mean, it's there. The solutions are there. The help is there. I think the way out is right in front of everybody. I think you and I are sitting here thinking, 5 years ago, would we be in this position? Like, I sure as
Would
hell
I
didn't
be
think
doing a
so.
podcast on recovery? Would
Yeah,
you
like,
be a guest on it? Like, can you
yeah,
imagine?
there's no way, man. I would have thought you were insane thinking that. Like, the thought of me getting completely sober like this was just not an option. Like, it just wasn't
Yeah,
until I went to options, but I know there's tons of reasons.
yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
no, it's pretty incredible, man. And that's what I mean too, a little bit with it's reaching out that hand to actually want it. You got to want that. That's got to come from somewhere. That has to
Yeah.
come from whether it's from something that's your health is a big one. That was a big one for me as well. Like I was incredibly sick and I was just getting sicker. Um, there's more to life than what I was doing. I mean, the love of friends and family, my making my choice to want not my choice to want it. I think I just ended up wanting it, and something happened, something changed in my life that my will to want to stop doing this and seek out a way to stop, not just try to sit there by myself and not drink or not do drugs. That didn't work, right? I needed
Did did you have a spiritual awakening, would you say?
Um, well, yeah, I mean something happened in the sense that I didn't do it on my own.
Yeah.
That I know. And
Mhm.
with as I mean spirituality is kind of a funny word. I still don't know what it means. Spirituality is such a umbrella term. I don't think people who are spiritual know what it means. It's just not a connection with the I just think it's not a connection with what's here and now. It's not a connection with these meat suits that we're walking around in. There's something greater to this existence, and
Yeah.
that's up to the individual.
Like
I mean,
that's why for
yeah,
me I call it the universe, dude.
sure, yeah,
Because I
100%.
believe there's a connectedness that goes beyond words.
Right,
And
yeah,
it's been proven to me in too many circumstances in my life where I'm a math guy, dude. You can't talk coincidence to me until eventually I'm like, mathematically, that's actually impossible.
yeah, right, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like sorry, but like you can't out fact someone who knows how to make facts.
yeah. Sure, yeah,
But there's something about for me, like okay, let's put the G word on a shelf for a second, right?
sure,
Let's put the
sure.
G word on the shelf, and I want to talk about the universe. Every single thing in this universe is made of energy. It's all atoms bouncing off atoms.
Yeah,
It's
for
not, like
sure.
what is even solid is really actually still just bouncing energy. So
Yeah,
like the illusion is that we want to be able to like say my hand is separate from the air. But meanwhile, every single second there's part of my hand bouncing into the air. How is that
100%.
not
Yeah.
how is that not connected to it?
Yeah. Oh, the connectedness of things for sure, 100%.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
but then it's like also though, like a power greater than us. Well, I mean, if all we are is energy, then everything around us added up is power greater than
yeah,
us.
for sure.
like like right there, like it doesn't have to, for me it doesn't have to be an entity to
Hmm.
be to as much as it can just be everything.
Yeah, sure.
And when I see myself as part of everything, it's way easier to spread love,
Hmm. Yeah.
you know.
Well, yeah, it's a very love to love someone deeply is courageous. There's a lot of courage in loving someone very deeply. It's
Yeah,
you're accepting the fact that I mean, to love someone completely, it can how many times that backfired on people, right? I mean, I'm talking about loving someone like just one person completely, and then I mean, it takes a lot of courage to open your heart like that, and also to let
yes,
yourself be loved. There can be a lot of pain in love too. There can be a lot of pain, but but to stop yourself from loving would be worse. Like that's
every time you close your heart to protect yourself, you're cutting yourself off from the flow of
yeah,
love.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
one of the things that Shaylin kind of pointed me to is this Course in Miracles, and it essentially talks about loving completely, and
Well,
you
it's an
know, like,
action. Yeah, love
yeah,
is it's an action. It's not just saying you love something, right?
to me, it's become that love is like serenity, where it's like, grant me this serenity, right? So you get serenity, however you get it, from your connection to the universe, from living properly, from sleeping well, eating well, and meditating. Like, however you get some serenity, right?
Right?
It's that state of serenity that then creates your ability to cope correctly in circumstances because
Yeah.
you've stilled your water enough to accurately see the universe, and so you can reflect it clearly. And
Right.
now love though is the same thing, where it's like you don't get love from pretending to do loving things. You
Hmm.
create love inside yourself, and then everything you do is loving.
It's action. Yeah. 100%. It's all
Yeah,
based in action. Yeah.
but it's a state of being that if you don't have that state of being, you're just actually probably people pleasing, you know?
Well, yeah, no, sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. We're both kind of saying
Yeah,
the same thing. I
yeah,
think there's
yeah.
people that
I
just
don't
constantly
think we're
say,
arguing, we're
walk around
just
saying,
exploring it.
I love you and I love everything and I love you, but they don't act that way.
Exactly.
It's just lip service. And I think there's a lot of people, I think that word love is misused a lot. I think people say, oh, I love my car or I love my, that sort of basic sort of
Yeah.
misuse of the word. I think if you truly feel love and passion for what you're doing and the people around you, I think your actions do speak a little bit louder. Like
Mm.
when I see certain people in the program, yourself included, especially people like you, I mean, you're a very amazing, unique person, and I love your recovery, and I always know that when I see you, your your sincerity and your passion for this program and for com just for compassion and love and care is massive. It's real. It's not, I don't ever feel like, oh,
But I
he's
love
just
you.
saying
I do love you though
I
when
know
I say it.
that, but I know that. Like it's a knowledge. It's something, and
Mm.
it's not a coincidence, like you said. It's not something that I'm just saying, well, he says it all the time, so he must mean it. I feel it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
Yeah.
It's honest and sincerity and through action and not
Mm.
just, yeah.
I love
It's
that. And I consider that actually a really amazing compliment from somebody that I truly love. So I'm grateful. Thank you.
that's yeah. No, I mean it, man.
Mm.
100%.
Um,
But there's
did you
also this
bring
one
any
thing that
questions?
it also, there was one thing that I did notice too that I was reading earlier
Mhm.
and I wanted to bring it up. It's
Yeah.
about love. It is an about it being an internal source, like you were saying. It
Yeah.
comes from the center of it comes from the center of one's being, requiring no outside validation. So that it's a core. It's something that's in you and it's a core, and it's not needed. You don't need someone outside to go, you're a great person and you deserve to be loved. And I mean, it has to be all encompassing inside of yourself, man. And that can come from living properly, eating properly, living a good life. It can be through your faith, it can be through a fellowship, through being around love,
Well,
worthiness, being
one thing I
worthy.
wanted to say to what you just read is essentially when love stops being a commodity,
Yeah.
that's when it really becomes love. Like
It's not meant to be traded. Yeah.
whether I'm saying it to make myself feel good, like, hey, I love you, oh, it makes me feel good to be loving, right? Or if I'm saying it falsely to people please, like, I love you, Peter, and I know, you know what, that makes Peter feel good, and it doesn't
Right.
really
Sure.
matter
Yeah.
if I have anything behind it. It's like, it's a commodity, or it's like, honey, you're gonna get some if you just do these chores.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Sure. Sure.
like
Yeah.
that's overtly trading it
Yeah.
on the open market. Like,
100%. Yeah. 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 Yeah, 100%.
But the thing is that it's like
It
doing
be it should
something.
be in humility too, don't you think? Love can be very humble because you're not really
But
you're not expecting to get anything in return.
it it should be humble. Like when love stops being a commodity, it can truly become service. That's what
Right,
it
yeah.
is. Like
Sure.
service isn't service if you're just cherry picking things you like to do for accolades. That's not
Right.
service. Like
No, no.
and I think that
Yeah.
I think that you can do that for a while to learn the real benefits of service. I do think like you don't just dive in and become the fucking all loving being in the world. Like
No, of
that's
course
just
not. Yeah.
not, but like there is a little bit of, well, okay, try this. There is some faking it till you make it. Like to actually, because I mean, like think of there's a person in my home group there, an older guy, and when he talks about not being loved as a child and not knowing how to love, right? Like
Right.
you have to practice at love,
Sure, yeah.
just like anything else. So um, it can literally be a trial and error thing because
Yeah.
like the way that my wife's favorite way to love somebody isn't mine, and I have to do what comes natural to me, but I also have to do the service that I don't want. Like there's
Yeah.
times where I'll get a call,
Selflessness. Yeah.
I'll get a call from someone and I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I think to myself, if I was that person and I needed that done, this is the exact moment where it makes a difference to somebody,
Hmm.
you know? And I can't say that I answered the call like that all the time, but I definitely when I pull away right away from a request for help from someone, it's like my first thing is how hard was it for them to even call me right now? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of how I ended up with so many sponsees right now.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
like I
It's a lot
honestly,
to be a sponsor, man. Yeah, for sure.
dude, there was a point last winter where I had 5 people and it was too much.
That's
And
way
I
too
said,
much.
it is, but the problem is that when somebody asks, it's like Peter. When someone asks sincerely, and they're down in a hole, how do you say no? What do you? Sorry, I'm a little busy right now. Just go ahead and die from your alcoholism.
Right, right. I guess
Like,
if it's straight up asking, can you be my sponsor? Because there's also relationships
yeah.
in the program that are not that don't have that title.
Mm.
Like it always seems kind of like a hierarchy thing. Like I'm your sponsor, you're my sponsee, like this sort of like hierarchy thing when I have a lot of friendships in the program that are almost a two-way sort of
Well, I
sponsor
tell people
sponsor
like
thing.
I'm like what it's going to be is it's going to become a brotherhood where we walk recovery together.
Right, yeah.
It's not a mentor mentee thing,
Right, right.
but
Yeah.
at the start for sure, like, dude, we were so lucky to get to go to options.
Yeah.
We were so lucky. Like, I cannot imagine having had a successful recovery without treatment, man. Like,
I needed treatment,
I
100%.
I
Yeah.
needed to be away from my life and 100% in an environment
Yeah.
that made this program believable, that would give me hope, that would give
Right.
me some faith. Like when I walked into the room and there were 7 people who were like 6 weeks straight and they were all laughing and talking and working. I was like, well, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this looks amazing.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
it was
and
incredible.
to
Wanted
be
that.
honest, to be honest, I, I, um, I never got that. I went to one meeting. I'm not going to mention the meeting's name again on air because I might have dissed it once. I went to one meeting like 12 years ago, and I went home and I said to my wife, I said, I might be an addict. I said, but I'm not a depressed addict. And everybody at that meeting was so depressed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I can understand that. When
Yeah.
you asked me earlier, you said about a spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
You'd asked me. there was a time in treatment, and I had been, I was in there for, I think it was my third week. And I think this is when, yeah, it was just before ended up staying for, I was supposed to stay for the 4 weeks. And this is just before I was going to go into it. I ended up taking 2 more weeks. Because in my third week, I was like, just like you said there, like, I'm not a depressed addict. I'm happy. I don't think my life isn't that bad was a big thing I used to always, even though I was 130 pounds, I was green. I couldn't I couldn't eat 3 square meals in a day, drinking bottle after bottle after bottle and bag after bag after bag. But something inside me in that third week when I was talking with one of the counselors saying, I don't know if, I think I'm good to go after the fourth week. I mean, everything here is kind of repetitive. We're just doing the same stuff over and over. Everything was negative. So how am I ready to go into the world when all my thoughts on the program are negative? Like there was not like me saying anything positive about it. And a few days after that, so we'll say like 24 days into it, something broke inside me because I was constantly fighting and something inside me, and this could be the spiritual awakening part, gave up. It just broke and I let it go. Like I wasn't going to get where I was going to want it to be by looking at everything in a negative light and saying, this is good enough. I can get through. This will be fine the way it is. Instead of being, instead of actually realizing that what I'm fighting is myself and fighting this addiction over and over and over again and constantly thinking I'm beating it when I'm not. There's that one final thing that I needed to beat and wasn't letting it go. I wasn't,
Surrender, man.
step one was not, I did not get step one. Yeah, exactly. Step one was not anywhere in my vocabulary, even though I said, well, yeah, I drink too much, so I got to stop drinking. But that's completely different than realizing you're powerless and your life is completely unmanageable. And I mean, and going into step two and three as well, of course. But there's a moment when something broke, man. And then I said, I not only do I not want to leave after the fourth week, I want to stay for 2 more weeks because now I'm on this. Now I felt this is what I'm supposed to be doing now. And the last 2, 3 weeks were I got more accomplished as far as a launching pad to go into a sober life than I did by far in the first month. Like, yeah, it's amazing when you just accept something and something breaks and you feel that shift. It's like the cracking of that shell, man. And the light comes out like it's a beautiful thing, man.
I woke up from that night of dying, and I was lying there, and it was almost like I had had a forced surrender. I was like, the first thing I said was, "It's over." And it was just like whatever fight was going on with me and substances, it was over. I didn't know how or why.
Right.
I just knew that I had to meet some people that could help me sustain that.
Right.
Like I had no clue
It's
how to
staying
sustain
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, but it was just like that was that moment that like I remember it was probably the first moment in 37 years where I didn't want more of something.
Hmm.
Like, and it was just like, whoa, like whatever's going on,
Yeah.
and it took me a little while to get into options and to take it further, but it was like 12 days after that happened. But yeah, it was
It was crazy. I didn't even go to one meeting until I went into treatment my whole life. And I was drinking for well over 30 years, 35 years probably, drinking and drugs, all different stages. The whiskey and milk sort of thing went on for decades. Ever since I
the,
was probably 18, 19 till I was 50 or whatever, 53 or whatever I went in, 54. Well, 2 years sober. So, but I did the whole detox at home for three,
yeah.
4 days, curled up in the bed with diazepam and that whole sort of thing. I hadn't gone to one meeting ever in my drinking career, and then I detoxed at home and went straight into options because I was like, I tried. I thought not drinking for 2, 3 days was enough. I was like, okay, I'm good. I can drink like a normal person now. Like the insanity. Oh, so I'm gonna drink for decades, like pound and do shit ton of drugs for decades. But if I just take a weekend off, I'm gonna come out the other end and just like crazy stuff, right? So, but yeah, something broke, and that's and so just to one more thing with the with the spiritual awakening, something did happen. And whether or
Mm.
not I want to admit that, or I want to say, well, it's this, it could be that, something greater than myself took that away from me, just plucked it out. Just, hey, you're
Yeah,
not gonna. So,
the power of surrender, man. I'm telling you right now that it's been this ongoing journey of like it's like as if there's this shelf, right? And the shelf's like kind of like over here, and I get to take these bad things like my addiction. Been working on some anger, some lack of forgiveness, and when I put it up over there and I can't reach it, then I don't get to reach it. And it's
yeah,
like as simple as that. It's like Yoda, like on on the
yeah,
like
Jedi mind
ooh,
trick. Yeah,
yeah, like it's just like it literally is like a Jedi mind trick. And the thing about it is that like I don't care how it works. I just want to be able to work it.
yeah,
Like I don't
that's it,
care about
man.
the fundamental. I don't care about the fundamental neuron six and this and then blah 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 blah. Like I don't
Right.
need to say like, um, what the whatever is like. I don't need to know the reason why. I just have to learn how to do it better. That's
Yeah,
all.
that's beautiful. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man.
And it's funny. I read this thing the other day, and it said there is no character change without prayer. And like, I'm not, like, but it really like for me, what I've come to see is that like all thought is a form of prayer.
Yeah,
If you're worrying, you're praying for bad things to happen.
praying for something you don't want. Yeah,
Yeah. And so it's just like, well, how do we change our character? It's like we literally materialize it through intention. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for a question?
I think so, man. Fire away. What
Or
do you
do you
got?
actually no, did you bring a question?
I didn't bring a question, but I have a couple questions on my mind. But let's do yours
Okay.
first, and then I'll
No,
I'll
no,
see
no,
if I
no,
can.
no, no. I've already asked one, so you ask me one.
What have did you do in your first year that you were like, this is the way it's done, and then in your second year, look back at that and went, maybe I'm gonna tweak that a bit, or I was that was a rookie, like let's say a rookie move, and it's bigger than that, or something that's started out small but's morphed into something similar but bigger in your second year. Something that helped you in the first year, but it's become like different, or you don't even really use in your second year. Like as
Well,
far as
like
like,
so two things that come into mind right away. First of all, uh we mentioned surrender, right? Like
yeah,
I was so good at surrendering my addiction, but somehow in that first year really I never became entirely ready. I never humbly asked God to take anything, you
right,
know?
okay,
Um and so when I got reminded about that surrender last spring, it was a real journey for me. And over the summer, I started doing a set of steps again. I was went in that step working group with Cheryl and Carol. And while I was taking Slade through the steps, I said, dude, I said, I want to do another set too. So let's do this set together. And I had come to a point where with my step four, I wanted to do it on some of my beliefs because I had listened to this old timer say that, he felt like he got a certain amount of relief from the steps, but there was always something still there. And it wasn't until his 16th year in the program, I think it was 16th or 26th year in the program. And somebody said, maybe try doing it on your beliefs, like beliefs that no longer serve you, that you see you're carrying around. Things like, like if you really knew me, you wouldn't love me, right? I
hmm,
like unworthiness. And so this year I kind of pulled a lot of that in And through some of the conversations I had on this podcast, one thing I really realized was that I could forgive you, Peter, for fucking killing your brother, but I wasn't finding forgiveness for myself. For
Right.
like for not even major things, just like, it was like take myself to the whipping post over and over. Um
You're right. Right.
and so I walk in the dark. And so I was walking in the dark one day, and I often do my prayer, then really kind of connect with the universe when I'm out there walking. And so I decided one day to pray for the willingness to start forgiving myself. Because my friend Gabriel there from Options,
Right.
he when he first came in, and I was actually kind of inspired by his cake this summer to do this, is that he didn't want to be in Options. He didn't want to be there at all. So he prayed for the willingness to want recovery. And that was like
Mhm.
his first prayer. And so as I was praying for this like willingness to forgive myself, it just like, man, I'm telling you that this feeling washed over me that just made me start bawling. And then I was still walking, like I like I don't stop and do this. I'm doing it while I'm walking. For me, almost my best prayer and meditation is when I'm moving, because then I can just kind of turn the hummingbird part of me off, and actually just have a
Right.
free mind. I'll be like on autopilot, and then I prayed for forgiveness. You know, and
Hmm.
uh, and what I realized was that in my whole first year and a half in this program, I had taken steps 6 and 7 too lightly.
Hmm.
Like I went through my first inventory, dude. It was like 120 pages. I did my step 5, but I didn't understand the full ramifications of we're entirely ready. And one of the things I think that I learned this fall, for anybody who's out there who's like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? It's like, how can you be entirely ready to release something until you fully understand it? Like, you know, like actually really dive deep on the entire thing, and then really see what it will take to change your life for that to happen. You can't be entirely ready if you don't know those steps. And so I
Right.
think for myself, it was like I wasn't I wasn't seeing how minutely some of my relationships, some of my phrasing, some of the things I say to people, like one of the things for me is like I really am trying to back away entirely, and I'm not perfect at this, but to get away from sarcasm. Like
Yeah.
like no matter what, with sarcasm, there is somebody being insulted and somebody being up higher. Like
Sure.
it's just the
An
very
ego thing.
nature
Yeah.
of it. And uh and it's just that I don't want to project those kind of feelings. That's not really loving complete. And you know what? I'm fine with other people enjoying it, but for me it's just like I can't see the line anymore of it not being harmful in some way.
Hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, so for me, I'd say my biggest difference was, my understanding of surrender and my step 6 and 7, and just seeing that, like really seeing that on my own without the power of surrender, I suck at removing defects. Like,
Right.
never give me the job at removing your defects, because I'm telling you right now, I've already had to fire myself a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. That doesn't do anybody any good.
Yeah. And you?
Yeah, man. Well, I think the biggest thing for me in the first year was trying to get, I felt like it was a thing of right and wrong. There's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And looking at the steps, I was always trying to battle with steps, well, I guess steps 2 and 3, and then four and five and six and seven. But I knew it was a process that I had to. I was looking at other people and they say, hang out with the winners in the program. Find someone that you want what they have and all that sort of thing. So I was always looking for the solution in the wrong sort of way. Like it's like if I do it this way, everything will be good. If I do it this way, do what this guy says, it'll be good. It'll be good once I start to do my, a step a month, or if I do the steps 3 times a year. I kept putting parameters on this is the right way to do it instead of just kind of letting go and being knowing that what I'm knowing that in my second year that I didn't get through the first year by just doing what other people say. My second year is not living so much in as much fear as I used to. I mean, I have a healthy fear of relapse, of course. That first drink is something that is always going to kind of be around me. The old Peter is always with me, probably always will be with me, kind of lurking around there. But my second year is just based on not living in so much fear of like enjoying my life, taking the stuff that sobriety has given me and recovery has given me, and be okay to enjoy my life, have a good day, and not have to, like you said, the 7 lashes of the whip daily. Oh, what did I do yesterday that was so horrible? What can I do today that was better than yesterday? It's just this constant reevaluation. Like in step 10, for example, I used to always do my step 10s. Well, what did I do today that I don't want to do anymore? And a negative thing. Some now lately my step 10s have been, well, what did you like about yourself today? What do you like? It's kind of a gratitude thing, but I'm looking at, well, what did you do today that you did different that you didn't even really think about? It's just to who you're becoming, and to embrace that and understand like from listening to other people and having critical thinking and thinking about what they're saying and how it relates to me. I do that more in the second year than I did in the first. The first year was like I was a student and I was just not even thinking about who I am and just trying to do emulate what other people are doing. And I don't in so much mean just listening to people. That's always gonna be around. I'm always gonna be in meetings and listen to what people are saying. That's how I grow. That's how I evolve. But to sit there verbatim and do exactly what they say, it didn't work for me, it created a lot of me starting to question things now and starting to get a little bit of animosity towards, so and so thinks they know me, and that sort of ego kept creeping up more and more, right? Instead of just listening to what people say and reading the stuff that I want to read, and then just thinking about it and letting go the answer of how it's going to affect me and just live it. It's like a living amends sort of idea, but with a lot of the aspects of AA as well. Because with my living amends, I could go walk around again. It's like lip service. I could go around and just apologize to people for the things I've done. But if I'm not living that way, it doesn't make any points, right? And most people that I've talked to that I've made amends to verbally, most of them said the same thing. It's like, oh, don't worry about it. It was no big deal. You didn't do anything. I didn't even think about it. And even as far as to say, if you're trying to apologize for the way you were, don't even bother. Even when I'm just starting to talk to them about it. But it's the way I live my life that people come back to me and say, you know what? I've noticed this change about you. Like, I see the change in you physically and your health, and I hear the way you think and what you talk about. That means a lot to me because I've taken all these things that the people said to me and just let it morph inside me because I let go using my brain all the time and trying to go, well, this is the way I'm going to do it because he said this or she said this, and making my heart follow. And it just didn't work for me. The first year, I mean, it got me through the first year, but in my second year, it's more about really just, I guess, letting go more. I guess more than I did the first year. The first year was I was hanging on to doing it the right way or the wrong way. There was only two ways to do it, right way or the wrong way. Instead of I'm not uh, addiction and alcoholism has nothing to do with intelligence or standing in society. It affects everybody. I know we both know that. So it's not a matter of, I mean, if people really want to grasp on to like formulas for a success. Like if you do it this way, and this way, maybe it helps them. But for me, I dissect things. I love reading about things and documentaries and understanding things because that's how my brain works. And that's how I treated my recovery more in the second year. I take aspects of many different things and I create my peace, like this calmness I'm feeling in my second year. Again, I can't attribute it to one person or one sponsor or one friend or one spirituality or one belief or whatever. It's this all-encompassing thing that's happened to me that I've taken out of my first year going through my second year that gives me that thing that I want. And that's just sanity, man. Like no more of this chaotic, crushing down who I am as a person with booze and with alcohol and drugs and just being fucking sane and at peace
Yeah.
again. And it's it's just listening to people and I hate saying it's just critical thinking because it's just not that simple, but sometimes it can be. And remembering
Our best thinking got us here, dude. Like,
I'm not
and
the be all that. Yeah, 100%. And that one saying I do really like is like th it, either God is or he isn't. Like that saying, just if there is a God and you're not it, those sort of things. Like I do like those sayings, even though I'm not a big fan of the G word, but that's something that I'm starting to separate the church and God and all that sort of thing. But there is a lot of great messaging in that there is a higher power and you're not it. So like
mm,
that to me means a lot. And I may not be it, but it's I'm the conduct that it runs through me.
conduit.
Whether I want it or not, there's something running through me. There's something that took away the phenomenal craving. And I think it has a lot to do with a higher power, but also the way that I treat myself, the way that I treat my heart, my spirit, right?
I love you, Peter.
It's more in this year than the first year was all like, hey, I got to do my readings every night. I got to do my step. I got to somehow do a prayer. I'm not sure what that means, and da da da, all this sort of thing, right? But now it's a lot more letting go. So.
I love that. Okie dokie. So I got another question for you, Peter. The Living Clean emphasizes that recovery is a process of becoming who we were meant to be. So if the first year was about discovering who you weren't, has the second year allowed you to love the person you are with a more complete and gentle heart?
Yo, yeah, man, 100%. Yeah. Um, yeah, the first year, like I said, was just hanging on to my sobriety or recovery and just doing what I was told. I mean, at the beginning with treatment, it's like, just tell me what to do. That want to be sober. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And the second year is just like that, is just yeah, being more forgiving of myself. I mean, the stuff I did when I was drinking and doing drugs wasn't me anyway, right? I think it's pretty common sentiment to know that it takes over your life. It doesn't, it makes you someone you're not, right? So once during my process to try to forgive myself in my first year and just realize what I want is a better life for myself. In the second year, because I get out there and I enjoy my life and I do things that I want to do still, and I have a good time in sobriety, I'm just that whole sanity and calmness that I experience is just it's a gentler way to exist, and therefore I treat myself a lot more easier that way, a lot more gentler that way. It's not it's funny like I it's our opinions of ourselves. Like we're in the past I was so worried about what other people thought of me rather than what I think of myself. And it's funny how we do that as humans. Um, a lot of people will we talk about how much we love ourselves and look after ourselves, but yet we're the harshest critics of ourselves.
Every
And
time.
yeah, every time. And even in sobriety, even going through my first year, that's kind of what I was doing as well. It's like, I don't want to beat myself up every day in recovery either. I know it's important to look at yourself and try to become a better person, become you know, the character defects that we experience in addiction that we want to eradicate. And and not live like anymore. But at the same time, you can't just keep beating yourself up. And there is slippery places in life that I need to stay away from, obviously. But for the most part, I want to go anywhere I want to go. I want to enjoy my life. I want to have fun. I don't want to have to judge and be worrisome of people all the time. I don't want to. I mean, I'm I'm feel like I'm in the right place, and if I keep doing what I'm doing, my life is gonna continue to be a good sane life. Like I don't see why it wouldn't be. If I start to change it, or if I start to second guess myself, or if I'm beating myself up too much for having a frustrating day or getting angry, oh, I shouldn't have reacted that way. Oh, I better go do a step, I better go do a step forward, and like all this sort of thing. I don't know if that's the way for me. It's I always attribute it to what I hear when I talk to people in fellowships, and how I right my ship by just the stuff I've learned um in the fellowship, for sure. Taking
Oh,
information and knowing that I'm a better person for what I'm doing, and not be not be my own worst enemy, man.
you know, if nothing changes, nothing changes, and it works that way for forgiveness. Like there
Yeah.
just comes a point where you've got to surrender that resentment to yourself about
Hmm.
yourself. Like, and for me, that was my hardest resentment really to battle through, and it's still work in progress. Like, it's like fine, 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 and then I drive by somewhere and it reminds me of a memory that's something that I haven't really processed. Like, part of my problem is that I partied so much, my memory's not great.
Right.
So, like my moral inventory or my amends list will never be complete because
Right. Yeah.
it's just like stuff pops up here or there. So it's like, having to learn how to process that all the time. For me, when I do that two-way prayer in the morning, there's that First Corinthians 13 from the Bible. And I'm not a Bible guy, like, let's just say that. But it is probably the greatest definition of love that I've ever seen. I don't
Hmm.
know if you know which one I'm talking about. Do
No.
you?
I
Okay,
I
so
you read the Bible in high school because I was at Catholic school, but
yeah. But it's like it says love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And there's a couple more paragraphs to that. But let me tell you, I don't think I ever knew how to love. I don't
hmm
think I don't think my love was ever free of a lot of that stuff. And so this second year has really been a journey on, like, learning to filter my actions and words through love.
hmm
Like, if it can pass all those things, like, so for me, you've got all the principles that there's, practice these principles in all our affairs. I'm telling you right now, if I just act as loving as all that paragraph was, I pretty much am now compassionate. I'm now honest. I'm now open-minded. I'm now willing. Like it's just, there's so much that love encompasses that the other ones, like, you can be willing and not be loving. You can have an open
hmm
mind and not be loving. You
Sure.
could be like
Well,
anyway.
you know the meaning, but you just don't practice it.
Well, but you could be honest and honestly mean, like,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
but if you put love over it all, there's just less. Like, it encompasses so much of things. And so for me, it's been about like a simplification of my program. I don't have to think about a whole bunch of things. I'm just like, is this loving? Am what I saying loving? Is what I said loving? And if not, then I probably need to make an amends.
hmm
Like, sometimes I'll walk away from something and I'll be like, you know, there really wasn't any love in that response. And I'll contact the person back and be just like, hey, you know what? I don't think that was all right. I don't think I handle myself in a way that I want to be in the future. And just so you know, like whether I still have to decline from something, how I say it can be loving or not.
Hmm.
You
Right,
know,
sure. You have every right. No is an answer. So, I mean, you have every
no,
right to
no,
think.
exactly. But
Yeah.
no versus not this time, or no, I'm okay. There's a big difference.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's just my own personal thing is a quest to be more loving, to learn to greater acceptance, to learn to surrender to, and to learn to forgive quickly. Like I think if I just do all those things, I'm probably having a good day.
Yeah,
And my
right. Yeah.
days are pretty good. So something's working for me. Like, it's that
Yeah.
same thing. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, right. You don't need to question everything. Even though
No.
that's a very popular saying is to question everything, but that usually has to do with authority.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to understand everything. But, just like walking, just like swimming, there are things that like if I always respond nicely, then I don't have to think about it. Like you start to get muscles in different directions of behavior, just like you do in motion,
Sure, yeah. Yeah,
you know?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And some things are just a loving way to be, like being helpful, being of service. Am I only thinking of myself today? Like if I'm having a bad day, Peter, I guarantee I'm thinking about me.
Yeah.
Like I'm never like, man, I'm having such a shitty day because Peter's not having fun. Like
Right,
that's
right. Yeah. Yeah,
like
sure.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's always self-seeking or self-centered thought that brings that
Right,
about.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'll get a call from a sponsee and they're like, "Whoa," and I'm like, "Okay, have you thought about anybody else in the last 2 hours?" I'm like, just saying, there's a good chance that there's no service involved in this day.
Right.
You know, like if that's the one thing of why they pound service into us in this program, because it might be the only moment you stop thinking about yourself for a couple
Right, yeah.
seconds,
Yeah,
you
sure.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of in the past for me, a lot of it's mainly my self-esteem and self-confidence and self-worth was the problem with the aspect of love for me. I don't think I
Mm,
really had trouble showing love to other people in my life, and I
mm,
don't think I thought of myself in a good light. So my with forgiveness, it came a lot towards myself, for doing what I did to myself and doing what I was doing to myself and having, self-confidence, self-passion, self-compassion. Those are things that I've learned in the second year that are very important for me. And I won't be able to serve to really help anybody else fully until that's complete in my eyes too. Like I talk to a lot of people about recovery in the first year or so
mm,
when they first come in and we talk and that sort of thing. But as far as I mean, it's very important to you can't love anyone else unless you love yourself, and I know we all know that. But the biggest hurdle for me, and especially in my second year, was realizing that I do have the power to create a really good life for myself, and it's through the teachings that I get in this program and
mm,
and adapting them to my life, like using them in my life. Do I think of every single thing to do with AA in my daily life? No. Like I don't think of
mm,
gratitude, acceptance, higher power, service, like every single thing every day. It just doesn't work that way. There's parts of my day that are focused on
mm,
certain things, and all those aspects will come up when they need to come up. And I
mm,
and I'm very happy that I recognize when they come up and they're things that I need to focus on at that moment, right? I try not to ignore if I'm having a bad day or something happens, and you're right. I take a moment to go, well, why am I feeling that way? Am I being selfish? Am I being impatient? Like, am I just being not giving this person the time of day or not maybe being compassionate to that person's situation? like there's lots of things that go through my common day, a basic day of little parts of the program that pop up instead of me sitting down and go, okay, I'm going to read this whole thing and I'm going to work on these 5 things today. I don't work my program that way. I just wait for life to show me what I need to be working on. And it's that letting go, I think, and being open-minded and especially the willingness. I love that too. But just being open-minded to see what's out in front of me. It's like when people say there's things that happen in life that are giving you signs, but we don't always see all the signs. That's a big part of what I just to be aware of what's going on around me and not ignore things that should be obvious. And that's and almost always to do with my sobriety and my recovery. And that's something that I'll go, oh, I see that. Like I'm not going to ignore
Mm.
that. I see that, and I'm going to address it and look at it. Like, and that's just me being compassionate about me. I want to be a healthy, happy, sane, good person. And that's I need to be patient with myself for sure.
I mean, right from that, the love is patient, love is kind. It's the first
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
that paragraph, right? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like, and there, Michael Singer has been somebody I've explored a lot of surrender with. He's the writer of The Untethered Soul and The Surrender Experiment.
Hmm.
If you haven't read any of his stuff or listened to it, dude, highly recommend it. But anyway, one of the things he talks about though is preference. Like all of our problems are generated by us having a preference. So
Hmm.
when something's wrong, right? I say to myself, I'm like, what's my preference here? You know, is
Right.
it
Yeah,
is
right.
it is it that person doing that? Or is it me getting this? Or it like, you know, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, okay, that preference doesn't really actually serve anything. And then sometimes that makes it so easy to let go, you
Right.
know? Like I'm just like, oh, that's a silly old preference from when I was 4. It
Yeah,
doesn't
your
matter now.
expectations of something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like and so I find that the preference check to be a really good one. And just like you were saying earlier, like you know, this year has been me pulling a lot of recovery from different places. And why? Because like you know, I see these 12-step programs as a starting point for a life in sobriety. But you know, in some ways, really, they just kind of point us in a direction
Yeah.
and, you know, um, for some people like me, it's just like, well, I want more direction. I'm still having a problem with that. And so I listen to audiobooks all the time or podcasts when I'm walking and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm out walking because it's just a good
Yeah.
time for me to just kind of zone out and learn.
The
Oh,
motion thing, I agree with that. Yeah, walking's a good one. Walking, hiking, or but just the motion and thinking. It's usually it doesn't have to be a lot of exercise or anything, but just keeping mobile.
I'm a big proponent of the fast walking now. Like at my age, it's like one of the only things that I can do that doesn't give me an injury. Like I can't jog anymore. I think I'm done with like high impact things for my joints.
Right, yeah.
Um, and I was just listening to this thing yesterday, and it's like just the act of doing a cardio that elevates your heart rate for 30 to 45 minutes, 3 times a
Right.
week was proven in a study in Sweden that those ladies got 9 more years of actually good brain. nine
Right, yeah.
years.
Yeah.
9 years is a long time to not be befuddled as an old person.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
you know, like I know some pretty sharp old people and I hope to be one of them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah. And I already like walking, so what the hell? Might as well. Okay, bum, 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 bum. Okay, so the 12 by 12 reminds us that our character defects are our next great frontier. Did you find that while the first year was a battle for your physical life, the second year has been more of a surrender of the pride and ego that were blocking your spirit?
Uh yeah. Yeah, no, the first year was definitely health wise. It still is. I mean, now I'm on the other side of the coin where I was 130 pounds. Now I'm 190. Like,
You were thin and green when I met you.
yeah, no. So, I mean, definitely it was the health part of it. I think a lot of it letting go is a big part of what's happening with me now. Yeah. Um, it's it's a living life. It's not necessarily an alcohol problem and drug problem. I mean, it'll always be, but it's more of just a living a life problem, if you want to call it a problem. That's just it's not just maintaining, it's growing, but a big part of it is just I just bask in it, man. I'm just happy to be where I am, and I try not to overthink too much about what I'm doing. It just everything just seems to be it's just flowing. It's just going with the flow. Like I don't have I don't question a lot anymore. I don't uh yeah, it's really hard to explain, man. Every day I'm working
Okay, so talk about this. Now
part of my program.
at
Go ahead.
work, how does it how has like bringing surrender and service come into the difference of how you feel at work every day?
Well, I'm in the service industry, so I mean, I'm
Yeah,
serving people constantly. Um I don't know what's on people's minds. I don't know why they're acting the way they act or why they do what they do. And and in that lies compassion. I don't have judgment on people. It takes a lot for me to be really negatively judgmental on someone because I don't know what they're going through. I have
but
no
are you
idea.
finding your work days smoother, easier, more peaceful?
I find everything in my day more peaceful. I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, my job's part of my day. I mean, last
Mm,
year when I broke my leg last year,
mm,
um, that was a whole other test for me. So I wasn't
mm,
working, I wasn't around a lot of people. So in that became that self-compassion again. And once getting through something like that and coming out the other end and being compassionate and patient with myself, it can't help but spill out into the people that are around me because I don't have any need to control anything. Because after that happened, and that happened during service, I was
mm,
serving AA and trying to be helpful and do the right thing, and that
mm.
happened. I mean, whatever reason it happened, it happened. Shit happens in life. But that happened. I think what I took from that is again to build who I am as a person, to be compassionate and patient and loving, right? And then when I go back out in the world, how can I not be that way? I gave myself that. So I mean, work, sometimes with work, I'm too, I'll be too giving to a fault. Like I'll try to give someone too much attention or I'll try to be it'll take away from the actual job that I need to be doing. I'll give something or a task or a person too much time. And in my line of work, I can't do that. I need to be at many different areas at the same time. So that's a character defect that I'd like to keep, but I also need to manage because it's just the type of job I do. I can't lose focus because then I'm not focusing on other people that need the same amount of focus, right? But with the patience that I gave myself and knowing that things are going to come in my line of sight during a day that I have no control over, but I know I'm going to get through I'm going to get through it. I'm not going to let it ruin my day. I'm not going to let 15 seconds of shit ruin the 15 hours that are ahead of me. It's just I can't that I don't let that happen to me anymore. I When I was in my basement with a busted leg, I could have lifted a drink, no problem. It would have been no problem, but I didn't. Like
Mm.
that was still the first step. I didn't pick up a drink. Like I was pissed off, I was resentful. I was I was frustrating days. I was like, this is bullshit. Like what am I supposed to learn from this financially, emotionally, spiritually, all this sort of stuff. But I didn't drink and that's what I took from it. No choice of my own. I didn't make a conscious decision to not take that number one thing away from it. It's what I took from it. Period.
Hmm. Yeah.
There was no writing stuff down in my journal and reading this and that. I woke up every day with that thought in my head. I didn't drink yesterday. And in that comes all the other stuff for me personally. In that,
Hmm.
when I don't do that, when I don't treat myself like shit, and when I look after myself emotionally, all that other stuff just falls into place for me. That's if you want to, and I'll use the word because I don't, it's miraculous, right?
Hmm.
Like it's plain and simple. I don't question it. It just is. So that's all I have. I mean, as far as in my daily work, yeah, I mean, I'm calm. I don't lose my shit at work. I don't get flustered as easy. I get busy. It's stressful, but it's handled in such a different way. It's handled in such a different way. I don't turn around from a stressful moment and sneak into my backpack and go grab my bottle and have a quick shot, right? Like
Yeah.
plain and simple. I don't run out to the car for whatever I got to run out to the car for. I don't, it's just not an option. It doesn't even come across my plate. That in itself is pretty freaking amazing, man, that I don't, it doesn't even cross my mind. And yet I get through it and I'm calmer for it. So every relationship in my life is better now. Every single one. There's nothing
That's
that doesn't is
amazing.
not touched by this.
Hmm. Okay, so now did I find that my first year
What
was a
about
battle for my physical life, or my second year being loving surrender of the pride and ego that were blocking my spirit? Like I was saying, um, I had taken back my will on removing my own character defects in that, and it was the second year was just definitely about really learning surrender, learning the value of surrender, feeling the absence of surrender in certain areas of my life, and
right?
and seeing that it was me, like, that I was the one who was really just not a good uh, defect remover. Like, I honestly, I have no magical, like, hey, this is exactly how it is. But I'll tell you
Yeah.
this. I'll tell you this. When I am living presently, connected to the universe around me, being loving, surrendering as much as I can in a day, I'm forgiving as quickly as I can, man, that's a good day. Like, I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, I haven't had a day where all those ingredients were there where I'm like, this is sucking.
Right.
Like, like, it feels really good to be in service. It feels really good to be helpful. And so, when, like, one thing for me, and I don't know about you, but man, when I approach my day with service, like, work becomes an opportunity to serve. It doesn't become something that I have to do, that I don't want to do. It becomes a privileged event that I have the privilege to help and serve other people, and just that change in mindset makes days entirely different.
Yeah.
And that's why I was asking you about work, because for me it just like, um I think of my last 6 months. I think of my last 6 months, and I think about how I felt like everything was torture, man. I felt like
Yeah.
everything was against me. I was
Yeah.
such a
Yeah.
victim. I was blaming everybody. Like, there was just no joy in it, man. I was the prince of the pity party. And it's just like,
You're
now
the only one invited.
now I'm owning my shit, man. Like, I am 100%, like, when it's a bad day, I know it's a bad day because of how I'm perceiving. And when I can't surrender that bad day, sometimes I just put myself to bed early. Like, I just
Right, right,
need to change the page, because it's like, okay, I pulled out every trick I can here, and there's just still something fundamentally wrong with me. And quite frankly, most of those days are almost always sleep related for me. If I don't get enough sleep, I am not as nice, forgiving, loving, surrenderable. Like it,
Right, right.
I like so many defects become amplified when I don't sleep. And like I'm just running like this big recovery experiment, and now like dude, that's why I'm not coming to the Monday night meetings anymore, because I the only night meeting I'm doing is my Thursday one. That's my home group, and other than that, dude, I am asleep before that fucking 7 o'clock meeting even starts.
Yeah, you were saying.
Like
Yeah.
I like since my pneumonia, I'm just had this like I get run down by the afternoon, and I just am like, okay, so I'm spending the rest of winter healing and sleeping, and it's okay.
And you're up pretty early, I would imagine then too.
Oh, I'm up real early. I'm up
Yeah.
early, but I also found though that like um I was having like an ambiguous time to get up. And what was happening was it was like some days I would get the stuff I love done and some days I wouldn't. And on the days I wouldn't, I was like, I feel rushed today and I don't feel like it's the same level of me. And so I've just kind of made a commitment that I do want. It's more important for me to get up early than to stay up late.
Right.
Because my productive good feeling time is in the morning. And not
Mhm.
everyone's like that.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah.
You got another question?
Do I have another question? How many days do you find yourself always checking in with your program or your recovery program every day, every moment of every day, or do you find yourself just enjoying the day and there's no.
Yeah, so um I start my day like I'm a creature of habit in the morning, right? I start my day with messages of love and gratitude. I got like 3 books. I read 2 pages out of each book every day because I am really good at listening to books and I'm not good at reading really philosophical stuff in
Right.
big chunks. Like 2 pages, 2 pages of good philosophy is enough. And
Yeah.
then I do my two-way prayer, and then I move on. Really from my program. Other than if I'm work like I have a sponsee who works the oil rigs. We usually do a session in the mornings for him,
Oh,
and he's
okay.
going through a set of steps right now. So he'll call me at some point. I'll stop recording my song and we'll work on part of a step. I found this really, really amazing step working guide online, and so I think it's the one that I'm going to use now with everybody. But it just really allows for nice chunks of here you go, you work on that. Then the next day,
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
it's almost like one exercise a day is just like a manageable chunk for somebody who works and for somebody, who's working with them. It really breaks it down into beautiful chunks, because like the NA step working guide or whatever, like the stuff we get at options, sometimes it was like 75 questions.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, for the
Yeah.
steps.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so like, in this guide, it's kind of like exercise 26 and it's got one thing and it's one side of a page.
I
And
see.
like reasonably, even if you're thinking about it a lot, you get to move on. But so moving into my day, um, I think about I think about who I want to be when I'm doing stuff. And I would say that like I don't do a written step 10 at the end of a day.
Right.
I do about 50 step 10s after interactions and actions. You know, like I just look at it, and I look at it uh, in a positive and a negative way now. Like
Right.
right away when I first came in, I was like scolding myself too much,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I hear you there.
and then it's like, hold on, like, like I mean, I am not responsible for anybody else's recovery,
Hmm.
but I am. certainly responsible for facilitating people I make a commitment to take through the steps with. And so for myself, one of the things I try to do is I try to keep it interesting for them. You know, like what would be boring to me, what isn't. And so like I take that responsibility, like, I think it's a really a privilege and a responsibility. So I mean, like I'm looking at what I'm doing. I'm looking at who I'm doing it with, and I'm looking at how I've done it.
Hmm.
And like, so I think when they talk about practicing the principles in all our affairs, one of the big things is really not letting shit slide by.
Yeah, right.
Like I was the master of delusions, Peter. Like when I did my first step four, I was like, ooh, I was literally like, there's gonna be a lineup of apologies going to the left, single file line out the door. Get ready, motherfuckers, because when I'm done with this inventory, you're gonna come and say sorry to me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I swear to God, like I was
Right.
so
You didn't see
deluded.
your part in anything.
I didn't have the tools to, nor did I
Yeah,
want
right.
to.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I know that might sound really naive or really stupid, but it was the 100% truth. I didn't think that those people had any reason to be mad at me. Like it
Right.
was like I was really self-centered, man. Like, and I heard it on this recovery talk. Why are we self-centered, Peter? Okay, look to your left.
Hmm.
Look to your left.
Yeah,
Look to your
yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Now look up.
Uh-huh.
Look up. And now look down.
Yeah.
Where are you in the middle of all those views?
Where am I in the middle of all those views? I'm right here.
Every everywhere you look, you're in the center. Everywhere you look in the universe,
Yeah.
you are in the center.
Right,
Like
right,
and so like we're literally biologically developed to see ourselves as the center.
right. Yeah.
Like and just that simple physiology, like to me, I'm like, okay, like we're just like, and also too, if we don't at a certain points take care of ourselves, like self-will keeps us alive,
Hmm.
like you were mentioning earlier. Yeah. Okay, so I got about 10 more minutes. You want another question or you got another question?
No, I'm good. No, you go ahead. Fire away, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no. I'm good for I don't really have. No, go ahead.
It's all right. I just come with lots. Okay, so living clean notes that are feelings thought out at different stages. Do you feel that your second year has required a more complete surrender to your raw emotions than the first year? And have you learned to love those feelings instead of fearing them?
Uh, Man, that's a loaded question. I don't know if I can answer that in 10 minutes, but
I bet you can. At least
yeah, I
nine and a
mean,
half.
well, see, a lot of the questions that I'm being posed, I mean, they're to me they seem it's pretty obvious. I mean, my first when when I was drinking anyway, when I was drinking or doing drugs, there's no real there's nothing real about my life. Everything's in a haze. Everything's not emotional. It's reactionary. So as far if any emotions did come up, they were mostly rooted in some sort of anger or some sort of resentment or pity. So there was really no, as far as love goes, it was very surface. There's no depth to it. So I mean, I can't help but look at it different now. I mean, it'd be ridiculous to say I'm still living my life rooted in anger. I mean, there's no way. I when I posed the question to you about if you live your life checking in yourself daily or you just enjoy the day, I find uh, the way I'm living my life now, I do my little routine in the morning, and that's really it. I don't address my recovery or my principles until something happens in my day. to make me look at it. Um, I experience my emotions when they come. I don't if I feel frustrated or angry, I look at the situation I'm in and I'm saying, well, what's making me feel that way? And if I can control it, if there's something I can do about it, I'll do it. If there's not, I let it go. I mean, my I'm on a hair trigger with all my emotions. I don't ignore any of them. If I'm angry, I feel angry. If I'm frustrated, I feel frustrated. Happy, I feel happy. Those are all fleeting. They're gonna go away because I'm rooted. My root emotion is joy. Like I feel calm, I feel sane, and I feel joy. Those are my root emotions. So anything that fleets through my day, I just sit in it for a second, look at it, and I move on. Even when I'm feeling happy or giddy or excited, I know that's not going to last forever. It's happening at that moment. So I embrace it and I enjoy it and I move on. Always coming back to that point of just contentment. Like I very rarely, if ever, get knocked off that feeling because I just remember where I used to be. It's such a strong feeling for me, remembering how I used to be, how I used to react. And when I start to feel that slipping, that sanity start to kind of slip, and I'm starting to really start to feel like I'm losing touch with what I've been working on, then I'll dive into certain things that I've read, or I'll dive into the program, look at what step I need to be working on. That's kind of how my emotional sobriety works anyway. And I'm a big proponent of like I went to bed sober and I woke up sober. I do my gratitude list. I read a couple pages out of the big book. And then I just go about my day. I try to start by doing something that makes me feel good during the day, and it's usually a task that I can complete and go, "Oh, I did that today, and that's done. That's off my plate." And I move on. And when I wasn't working, that was a challenge because I couldn't move for a lot of the times. I couldn't really do a lot. So a lot of it was self-seeking and trying to figure stuff out about my brain and doing a lot more readings and stuff like that. But now that I'm starting to do a little bit more with my life, um, as far as work related goes. I mean, my day is just knowing that today is going to be better than any day that I was not sober. Like before, I wasn't sober, and now I am. That's really the simplest part of my existence now. So everything, literally everything in my life, or especially my emotional or my spiritual or my health, it's all better. It's all better. There's not one thing that's not better. The promises, right? Like it's one of the best readings in every meeting I go to. I love listening to the promises. Um, they come true, man. Like, but I have to let them
Unbelievably
come
so.
true. What's that?
Unbelievably so.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to, but I feel like I have to enjoy those promises
yeah.
and live in them and know that I deserve them. I'm worthy of them. I've, and with the people in my life, I've worked to get them. And now I get to have them. I get to live my life this way. It's incredibly grateful every day for just really just living a better life, period. And in my day, I'll go a whole day after my morning routine. I'll go a whole day before I go to bed, and not even think about recovery, not even think about am I acting the right way? What about this situation? I don't feel quite right. My day will just I'll just have an awesome day. And then at night when I go to bed, I have a little routine I do. I'm like, hey, you know what? I did this today. I'll do a step 10. I was like, no, if like it's amazing. Just some days are just so free flowing, man. It's such an amazing feeling to have those days. And I embrace them because not every day is going to be like that. And
Hmm.
that's reality. I can't expect that I'm going to get to a point where it's like, oh, every freaking day is just perfect. It's just that's not a reality. But not every day is going to be shit either. Whereas in my past, I could think of a long periods of time where every day was just brutal. Every day sucked. Like, you know, and I don't
They
have
say
that
that
anymore.
joy is the ultimate expression of gratitude for life.
Yeah, I believe that, man. 100%.
And you know, so I think, man, you're lucky. You know, you're maybe not lucky. I don't feel that you're lucky. I feel that you did put in your time to get to where you are. You know,
Yeah.
I really, I actually, I catch myself sometimes still saying that, but I don't think luck has anything to do with those
I
who
catch
are.
myself with that too, with that saying you're lucky thing.
And
Yeah, there's,
I say, you know what? I'm not lucky. I'm grateful.
yeah,
That's what I say now.
right. And the
Because
part of that joy comes from knowing it's valuable. That joy is
yes,
valuable because it's not forever. And that's part of the process for me too. Like I just know that, you know, it can turn at any time.
and
That
joy's a choice.
daily
Like,
reprieve thing,
dude,
man. Yeah.
us stopping gratitudes, us like starting to get itchy, bitchy, twitchy, and finding fault with
Yeah.
everything. Like
Right.
that's a choice we make, right? You know,
Yeah.
and those choices steer us to, you know. Wow, Peter, I'm really glad you came back. I want to have you back on again. I'm super glad we got to spend this time together this morning. Um,
Yeah, awesome, man. I love listening to you too, brother, for sure.
I love you, man, and yeah, hopefully I'll catch you at a meeting this week.
It'd be great. You haven't seen you at a meeting. I know you're on a totally different schedule now, but yeah,
Yeah,
we'll do more of this, man, and I'm sure I'm gonna see you again.
I love you, man.
I love you too,
Everybody
man.
out there, tune in next episode for more recovery fun. Bye bye, everybody. Love
Ciao,
you.
guys.
Please help us help others. If you'd like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.